Hey guys, welcome to my newest video for today. For today's video, I'm going to be doing my Melbourne and Sydney haul. So this is all the random bits and pieces that I picked up on my trip, which was amazing. Sadly, there's not going to actually be a vlog for my Melbourne trip if you happened to watch my convention haul, which hopefully went up before this video. My camera died that I used primarily for filming and my vlogging, so I don't know when I'm going to get a new camera, hopefully for Christmas, but we'll see. And yeah, so basically all my photos are on my Instagram page if you want to check those out from my Melbourne trip. So yeah, most of the stuff that I bought I got in Melbourne. There's a couple of things from Sydney, so I just thought I'd combine the two, because by the time I got to Sydney, obviously my funds were a little bit more depleted, and I'm trying to not buy so much stuff because my suitcase is really full. So I was definitely over the limit on the way back, but for some reason they never charged me for extra weight. So not sure what happened there, but I'm not complaining. Anyway, so yeah, so this is all the random bits and pieces that I picked up. So I'm just going to get straight into it. I'll start with all the little pieces that I have here, in no particular order. I do have this like amethyst rock that I picked up from the Melbourne Museum when I went, so I just thought that looked cool. I did buy a couple more bookmarks because apparently you can never have too many bookmarks, and I did get this one, this lenticular bookmark of a kangaroo. I think I got this one on the Great Ocean Road when I was on that tour, so but yeah, I didn't have this one, so. And then I have this other lenticular bookmark that's of a triceratops, and I got this one at the Melbourne Museum. So then I have a couple of pins. These are a mix of pins I picked up from my shows and also when I was on my various tours and museums. So the pins I picked up on the Great Ocean Road tour, I got this one that just says Great Ocean Road, and it's of the apostles, so got that one. And then I just got a little koala because we did actually see a couple of koalas out in the wild on the trip, so I thought that was a little cool, like a cool little memento. And then at the Melbourne Museum, I picked up this pin of a triceratops, so that one. I got this set of badges from when I went to see Hamilton because I didn't have any, and I'm trying to like focus on smaller like items like pins and badges, so I got these. And then I debated long and hard about this because my feelings on Harry Potter are very conflicted because of the author, and I did go to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child just because I was in Melbourne. It was something I did want to see like when it was first coming out, and I just went ahead and got this little Slytherin pin. Like they had a whole merch store there, and yeah, I think I could have gone crazy in that store, but I was just like, I can't justify spending all that money. And yeah, I felt conflicted enough as I did, having gone and going to the show, which was actually amazing. I don't regret seeing the show, but yeah, as I said, conflicted feelings, but I did just buy this little pin. So, which, yeah, Slytherin, because that's my house, or was my house. I don't know, like I'm technically not really part of the fandom as much, but anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, moving on, I have a couple of pins that, not pins, pens that I got. I just have this sort of pen from Typo, so, and then I have one of the Melbourne Skydeck because I went to the Eureka Skydeck and I decided to pick up another pen, so I have those. And speaking of the Melbourne Skydeck, I did buy a notebook, so, and I am using it for a travel journal, so I sort of wrote up my trips like to Brisbane and to Melbourne, so I'll just sort of can find. Here we go. So that's sort of like my Melbourne trip as well. So yeah, so just sort of something as I travel and see more places, I will write them up in here. So that is that one. And then sort of going to, along with the, back to the Melbourne Museum, I did go to a Lego exhibit randomly. I just thought it would look cool. I got a Muppet, like random, like one you, like if you didn't know, like a blind bag, I think they're called. And I happened to get Animal. He took a long time to build, and I'm really glad I never got into Lego as a hobby because I don't have the patience for making the, like this little guy took me a couple of hours over a few days just to get all the pieces together. So, but I have Animal now as in a little Lego figure because Animal's one of my favorite Muppets. So got that one. And then the last thing that I got from the Melbourne Museum, of course, I had to pick up a stuffed dinosaur. I went with a Triceratops because I love Triceratops. So I think they're probably one of my favorite dinosaurs. So yeah, so it just has Melbourne Museum. So that's this one. And then sort of going along with the stuffed animal theme, I have a penguin from the Sydney Aquarium. I was in Melbourne, the Melbourne Aquarium. So yes, I love him. He's like my favorite thing ever because I love penguins. One of my favorite animals. So I had to get him when I saw him. So I've also named him Hamilton. So there we go. Random thing, but so that's that one. And then I think I'll just focus a bit on some clothing items, sort of, again, very, very random stuff that I picked up, but I was running low on socks at one point because I didn't pack enough socks for some reason on my trip. So every random gift shop I was going to, I was buying socks for some reason. And I got these avocado socks when I was at the gift shop on the Great Ocean Road. So there you go. And then I got, speaking of penguins, I got these penguin socks that say just chilling. So I have new socks. And then actually I'm going to show probably one of my favorite purchases that I made while I was in Melbourne. I recently decided I wanted a pair of Doc Martens, and I knew they were very expensive shoes. I've never worn Docs like before. I decided to go to the store when I was shopping at Melbourne Central, and I decided to try on a couple of different pairs. There's a couple I liked, but I couldn't, they didn't fit me properly because my feet are really narrow. So shoes, I have a hard time with finding shoes that fit me. At Luxia, probably, it's like the third pair I think I tried. And I ended up going down a size because the first one, because I'm either a 7 or an 8. And these were a size 7, and these are the shoes. They're like this dark brown red color, and I love them. I ended up wearing these home from Melbourne to Sydney because, again, I was having problems with my suitcase and I needed to save space, so I wore these. I wore them all day. I was trying to break them in because I was told they're not the easiest shoes to break in. My feet have paid the price because I do have a blister on the back of my ankle, so that's a little painful, but I do have these shoes now, and yeah, I love them. So they're very, very expensive, but they're definitely worth it. So I did buy a pair of Doc Martens. And then I went to Peter Alexander, so I got another pair of pajamas because I don't need another pair of pajamas, but I really do like Peter Alexander's. So again, they're pricey, but I do love them. I got this Pikachu like sleep shirt, so, and I also got this Star Wars pajama pant. So it's like in comic book form. So I just thought it looked really, really cool, and I went ahead and got them. So that's that one. And then I decided to go to a couple of clothing stores. Like I went to H&M because it was like one of the largest H&M stores in Australia. Actually, I think it might be even in the world, in Melbourne. I only ended up getting one thing while I was there, but I ended up finding this skirt, which I sort of really liked. And so I got that, which I think will actually pair really nicely with the Doc Martens. So that one. And then I needed sort of plain lighter colored tops to go with the skirt. I can't remember what the store was called. It was like Uni or something like that. I did find a couple of shirts from there. So I just went with this pale, like green, like this light green color shirt. So I got that. And then I went with this pink buttoned shirt. So I really liked the style of that one. So got a couple of new clothing items while I was in Melbourne. And then when I went to Hamilton, I decided to also buy a tote bag so I could carry things in. And I didn't have the tote bag, but it's basically, you have the logo, and then on the back you have Hamilton and Jefferson and Madison and Washington and Burr. So I thought that was kind of cool. So, I mean, I have heaps of tote bags, but I always keep forgetting to like pack them and bring them with me. It's terrible, the amount of bags I've actually bought. So there we go. And then speaking of Hamilton, I guess I'll go into the musical programs that I've picked up, because I will be doing an updated theatre program collection, because it's been about 5 years since I last did one, and apparently I like doing them every 5 years. So I went to 3 shows. It was meant to be 4, but one of my performances got cancelled, and then it got moved to the day I was leaving Melbourne. So I'll have to try and see it in March when it's in Sydney. But I did get the Hamilton program. I do have this, but I like to get them from like the different shows. So this is the program from Melbourne. And then of course I got the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child program. And at the time I'm filming this, I saw this today and I got Cinderella. So they are all the programs that I got. And then sort of going back to the pen that I got from Typo, I did get this notebook because at the time I was going to use this as my travel diary, but I think I'm actually going to use it for my budgeting now. I really want to become better about my finances, and as I get back into work after being on holidays, I do want to focus on budgeting and saving and trying to save up for trips and not spend so much money. It's going to be a work in progress, because you all know, if you've been following this channel for a very long time, you will know the extent of my spending and how much of a problem that is. But I do have this journal which I think will be used for budgeting, so there we go. And then the sort of the last stretch of this, I did go to Dimmicks in Melbourne because I can't not go to a bookstore, and I bought books. Well, obviously. I wasn't planning, I bought 4, which for me is actually pretty good because I normally come out with like 10, but I was like, space, and yeah, also I have, my TBR is massive, so there was a couple that I was definitely after, and then there was a very, very random purchase, which I'll explain at the end. So the first one that I have is Tom Felton's memoir, again, sort of going with the Harry Potter theme. But I was interested in reading it, so I went ahead and picked it up. And then I also got Alan Rickman's diaries, because I did read the excerpts when they were advertising this book, and I was actually quite interested to read them. So I thought this would be fascinating to read, and yeah, so I got Madly Deeply, the Alan Rickman Diaries. And then I decided to go ahead and pick up a book that's been very hyped on BookTube. I still haven't read the author's other series, which is the Poppy War series, so you'll know what book I'm talking about. And that is Babel. I've heard very good things. It sounds very interesting. So I don't know when I'll read it, probably 10 years from now. The way I seem to be going with like my reading at the moment, but I did pick this up, so I'm looking forward to reading it. I just have to sit down and read. So yeah, so Babel. And the random book that I got Ash Barty's book because she was going to be there and signing these. Now, I don't follow tennis. I only know who Ash Barty is because obviously she's a very well-known tennis player, and so yeah, so I knew who she was, but that's about the extent of I'll see if I can find where she signed it. Yeah, so I got it signed. It's very, very randomly. I will probably eventually read it as well, but I just thought it was kind of cool and not what I was expecting to happen that day, because when I went to DMX, but I thought, why not? There we go. So, and then, of course, I also did go to JB, even though I said I wanted to stop hauling Blu-rays and stuff like that. I think in future, if I happen to be somewhere and I go into a JB, I'll try and like to limit it to like 3 pickups rather than, you know, like the 20 odd that I can pick up very easily there. So I was very mindful of my purchases. I got 3. I got 1 DVD, which is the newest Doctor Who and like classic release, and that is Doctor Who: The Abominable Snowman, because I am thinking on the 23rd of November of starting a year-long Doctor Who marathon to finish when the 60th anniversary specials come out, because I did do that when like I did a marathon in the lead up to the 50th, and that was in 6 months. So I want to take more time to make my way through them, and also to try and get to the spin-offs, because I haven't watched Torchwood in years, and also actually I think about 6 years I haven't watched Torchwood, and also I never finished the Sarah Jane Adventures, so I'm hoping to do that this time around, but we'll see. I always say I want to rewatch stuff and then I don't continue on with them, because I've started rewatching that many things and I've never finished them, but hopefully with the Doctor Who ones I can do a rewatch and finish it for the 60th anniversary next year, but we'll see what happens. So I got that. I got the newest DC animated movie, Battle of the Super Sons. I really do enjoy the animated movies, and I have actually read some of the comics, which I'm assuming this is based on like the Super Sons comics. So you have Damian Wayne, who's the son of Batman, and John Kent, who's the son of Superman. And yeah, because I know in the comics it was sort of always there as like adventures, but I'm assuming this is like their introduction to each other, because I think they didn't always get along. So I mean, admittedly, it's Damien. Hardly anyone gets along with Damien, so but I did love what I've read of the comics, so I'm really excited to check this one out. And then I got another TV show, because I'm being very select with the TV shows that I'm sort of picking up, because I'm trying not to buy it anymore. There's only a few like franchises I want to try and finish. One of them is the Flareverse, because that seems to be winding down and coming to an end. I've completely fallen off the the bandwagon with the Flareverse shows. Like, I mean, I finished Arrow, I finished Legends. I'm still really sad that got cancelled. And I never watched season 8 of The Flash. I just didn't start watching it. And same with this show. Actually, I know I've only watched a few episodes of Superman and Lois, so that's one. And I never finished Supergirl. I think I watched the first 3 seasons and I never continued with season 4. So that's another show, like I sort of have to try and do a massive franchise watch and make my way through it from start to end and see what happens. But as I said, I keep, like, I've only recently I've started a like a Charmed rewatch. I'm only 2 episodes in. Well, obviously I've been on holidays, so that one I'm sort of like okay with, like, oh yeah, I'll watch an episode here and there. But I started a Marvel rewatch back, like to watch the movies and the TV shows in timeline order. And I still have to watch Agent Carter season 2. So yeah, I have a problem with starting shows and starting things and not finishing them. But anyway, long story short, I picked up Batwoman season 3. I haven't seen Batwoman season 3, so yeah. I did like season 2. I mean, I like season 1, obviously with all the stuff, why Ruby Rose left and things like that. I did like the new actress who played Ryan. I had to look at the name, what her character's name was. But yeah, haven't seen the season, so have to add it to the watch pile. So we're almost finished here. I've just got a couple of things that I picked up in Sydney. Speaking of like Batman and the Bat family and randomness, I got these socks with all the different Robin logos on it. I think because this is for the Gotham Knights video game, which I don't know if I'll ever play that because I don't really play video games. But this was in Zin and it looked amazing because you've sort of got all the sort of Bat family logos. I mean, most of them are Robin, but because this one's you've got like Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Robin. So I just thought they were cool. So I've got Bat family socks. As I said, it's random, but that's like what this haul basically is. And then last but certainly not least, I have a couple of comics, like graphic novels, because I picked some up at my favorite comic book store when I'm in Sydney, and I got one DC comic graphic novel and one Marvel graphic novel. Speaking of like Bat family, I got this Batgirls. This is, I think I did read some of this, the lead up to them setting this up. I haven't read a comic, like one of the current comics in a while, like a few months. So I'm a bit behind on what's currently going on in the Bat family universe in the comics. But I did want to read this. So this has all of the people, like the ones who've taken up the mantle of the Batgirl, and I think they're all operating as Batgirls, at least from what I understand, because you have Stephanie Brown, Cassandra Cain, and of course Barbara Gordon. So I'm very excited to read this one. So Batgirls. And then I did pick up a Moon Knight graphic novel, and I got volume 2 of the current Moon Knight run. So I did read the first one, and this is the second volume, which is issues 7 to 12. So, because I'm finding I'm really like reading collected issues rather than waiting like, month to month or week, like for stuff. I find I don't like doing that anymore. I'd rather just binge stuff once it comes out. So I do have volume 2 of Moon Knight. That is everything that I picked up in Melbourne and Sydney. So, yeah, I don't know where everything is going to go. So, because as I said, I got a lot of stuff and my suitcase is overflowing. So I've got to go and pack that up now because I will be heading home tomorrow. So I have to go repack all my clothes and stuff. And yeah, But that is it. So I have no idea when this video was going to go up. So I filmed both my hauls. But yes, hopefully at some point I will get this uploaded and yeah, not have such a long gap between my videos, because I know there's some seasonal videos I want to try and do with like movies and stuff, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm just going to stop it here. Thank you guys for watching, and until my next video, I will see you guys next time. Bye.